I'm Zach at Rotten Island Records, and Iron Solomon's about to plug my shop.
This is the dopest used vinyl shop in New York right now. Best hip hop section that I've seen.
Bushwick,
anywhere.
Brooklyn.
4 Stanwyck Street, Rotten Island Records.
Boom! Dig.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into 15 Minutes of Fame. I'm your host, Nikki, and this is Inside the Bars. We are in Brooklyn at Rotten Island Records, and today's guest is none other than Iron Solomon. Hey!
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on your success with your Nitty battle.
Thank you.
It was dope. That's what we're going to be breaking down here today.
Dope.
So, like I said, this is Inside the Bar. So we're going to get a little bit inside of your mind for how you were preparing for this battle. Have you seen the show so far?
I have, yeah. I really like the show. I'm always super interested to hear people's creative process. I feel like I learn from it. The first one I saw that Uncle Ross sent me was the Goods one, and I thought I posted this online, but I'll say it again that I thought it was super dope, just to see the strategy and thoughtfulness that he put into his performance and the energy and the power dynamic on stage and the hand gestures and everything. Definitely made me gain a new respect for Goods and want to rewatch the battle with that in mind, and then also want to take a page from that and learn from his process to focus on that. So I think, if other rappers are smart, they'll tune into this so they can learn. You know what I mean? And I think if fans want to be, more engaged and understand what they might be missing out on, it's a good educational tool for that.
Yes, more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
That's my favorite word, knowledge.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to jump into your battle with Nitty. Now, I chose this battle because it's a total classic. It was like a real battle. Like, you guys were going back and forth. Like, there was not a dull moment in this entire battle.
Dope, thank you.
So, no problem. So, let's get into round one. You started your round talking about a friend of yours who I believe is locked up, possibly. Yes.
Yeah, Jay Buddha's. He was basically the difference between like a 7-year sentence and like a year and a half of shock, and partly because of the funds that we generated from the funded justice, he was able to enlist an attorney from that area that was like familiar with, you know how it is at courts, like local politics and the new DA coming in and somebody going out and all this type of stuff, and we were able to help him get his sentence reduced. So he's in shock right now, I believe, but I think he might be coming home this year.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it could have been dire. So thank you to everybody that donated, and definitely salute to Jay Buddha's, man, and see you soon.
Oh, well, thank God for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the round itself. You started off your first round and you talked a little bit about Charlie Clips and the difference between Clips preparing for a Nitty battle versus a battle with you. And I thought this was a clever way to begin. I actually wrote it down, but I can't say it as well as you can, so do you mind saying that little part right there? You battled Charlie in front of the roughest crowd.
Yeah, you say it. You got it.
You want me to finish it?
Yeah.
Okay, you battled Charlie in
Talk! I'm trying to give you the feel. Fire! Yeah.
You battled Charlie in front of the roughest crowd. He prepared for you by writing nothing down. For me, he wrote all 3 and made his grandmother proud. I remember you said that with emphasis. I like that too. Now that's just profound. What, you don't get it? I'm saying the clips I bring to the ring actually come with rounds. Yeah.
I mean, at that time, him coming off the Charlie Clips battle, it was like probably the lowest point for Charlie Clips in terms of people being frustrated with him not being prepared or not taking it seriously, where they were like, yo, like, what's up with this? Like, what are we doing with Charlie? Like, we throwing him in rice? And then when Charlie battled me, I don't remember exactly the order of it, but yeah, I think it was right after that. He came with 3 fully prepared rounds for the first time in a long time, which I take as a big compliment. And I don't think it was an insult to Rum that he showed up like that. It's just the way it worked out. But definitely trying to spin it that way. And then also the clips I bring to the ring come with rounds, just like little punchline wordplay there too.
Okay, so I want to jump down a little bit to your. What kind of scheme would I call it? You talked about the AC and the vent and the fan. I wrote it down too.
Okay.
But like I said, I can't do it like you. When they rank us, I expect.
Oh yeah, go ahead, say that.
Go ahead.
What were you saying? You were saying a different part.
When they rank us, I expect to hear. Now, did you say the Avs say?
Yeah, the Avs say Iron Low. So.
Okay. Oh yeah, the Iron Low.
Still the streets been hating. I heard all them lines before. So when they rank us, I expect to hear the Av say Iron Low. It was right when people were getting at Av saying that he was copying bars, and the biggest bar that they said he had copied was the Iron Low, like on Anemic. So, and everybody was also doubting the battle in general, saying, I don't get this matchup, it's whack. Not only is it a whack matchup, but Solomon's gonna get washed. So I was like the underdog in an underdog battle. So I was being like, the streets are hating, but I've heard it all before. So when they rank us, I expect to hear the Av say Iron Low. So just basically the streets and Av being part of the wordplay and saying I heard it all before. Saying we heard all these lines from Av before. Not dissing Av at all, because I don't think he's really out there copying, but just that's what was out there and people were saying. So it was like it was topical about battle rap, referencing that, and then topical about what people were saying about our battle.
Right, okay, so I want to ask, a lot of times we do hear battle rappers say they don't mind being the underdog. How do you feel about that? Is that something that you can say,
I love being an underdog. Like, I would always rather be the underdog.
Right.
Because if you're expected to win, all you can do is meet expectations. You can't exceed them. You know what I mean? So I would much rather the bar be set low, because you can always exceed expectations. I think that's part of the energy around it. I think me and Nitty was great for sure, but I think there's also a little extra sauce on it because of how low the expectations were, that even the energy in the room was like, yo, this is like, it made it into a little more of a moment. You know?
Right, okay, I understand that.
So yeah, and it's like, if you lose and you're expected to win, it's like a double loss kind of, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'd rather be the underdog. I'm trash. I'm the underdog for sure, definitely. Everybody can be me.
Okay, so I want to jump down to, speaking of jumping down, that's how you started your line. You said jumping through hoops, rocking them Fugazi J's. Okay, so I heard, a little birdie told me, that was all freestyled.
Yeah, so I just knew,
Do you want to say the line?
I don't remember that. Can you have it?
I wrote it down.
Okay, can you say it?
She kept the file.
Yeah.
Jumping through hoops, rocking them Fugazi J's isn't sick enough to influence the game.
You're not the real heir. Your soul showed us truth. You a fake who ain't authentic enough to step in the shoes of the great.
Right.
But those are actually new. And I'm kind of matching you, but mine are classics, so I'm winning in this fashion too. I'll snatch your shoes, stomp out half your crew with one on each foot to leave them black and blue, just for kicks. So yeah, like
crazy.
Like I think I had some of the I think I had thought of some of the Jordan stuff because he had been accused of wearing fake Jordans, but like the way I put my rounds together, like I'm always kind of writing to the last minute because I do it in kind of a patchwork. Well, I have this piece and then I have this piece and then I'm like, damn, where's the storyline? How do I fit these together? And so sometimes I might have like, oh, I got 38 bars, but what am I gonna do with the first 20, 10, 16 bars to start this off, and then that might get toyed around with. So I think I had some of the Jordan stuff, but I don't know if I had found a home for it. And then when I seen his shoes, I had spoken to Direct like earlier in the week, and he was like, yo, when you battle shirt and tie and you're wearing a black shirt and you're white and he's wearing a white shirt and he's black, and you said, I said something about like a white guy wearing black and a black guy wearing white guy wearing black, like a dope rapper staring at you, a whack rapper staring back, something like that. He was like, yo, He's like, in this day and age, that'd be one of the craziest freestyles ever. And then Nitty stepped up to me and was like, oh, we got the same kicks on. And Before the battle.
Okay.
And his were blue and mine were black. And I like right away was like, yo, if Direct told me to freestyle, he was like, don't forget to freestyle. And I had been like, I'm not gonna freestyle because this is too big of a moment for me to like take that risk, and I want it to be clean.
Right.
And then when that happened, I was like, yo, like what are the chances that he referenced that specific line about wearing the same clothes in different colors, and then Nitty comes up and does this, and I was like, I have to say something about this. And so I just kind of accessed the Jordan stuff and put it together with the stuff about what he was wearing. I think people kind of even miss the Jordan stuff because it's like jumping through hoops, like you're doing too much. You know what I mean? Jumping through hoops. What was the bar again? Rocking them Fugazi J's?
Yeah.
Rocking them Fugazi J's, because he's been accused of wearing fake Jordans. Right? Jumping through hoops, rocking them Fugazi J's. You ain't sick enough to influence a game. But also Jordan in the flu game, the influenza game, was sick. And that's like the flu game Jordans isn't sick enough to influence the game. You're not the real heir. Like, not the real heir to the throne, but also Air Jordan. Your soul showed us truth. You were fake, who ain't authentic enough to step in the shoes of the great. And obviously, the Jordans are the shoes of the great. You know what I'm saying? But I'm being like, you can't walk in my shoes.
Right, absolutely.
But I think the influenza part is probably what people missed. And
I did until you just said it.
Right, yeah.
That's a fact.
Ain't sick enough to influence the game. You're not the real heir. Your soul showed us truth. So then there's the way it came together with the two shoes, I was like, thank you. Like, it was just crazy.
Real quick.
Yeah.
You wrote, did you do that freestyle or did you prepare it before the battle? Because you said
when he came up to me, I was like, I gotta remember if I put the Jordan bars in, and then I gotta put them in, and then I gotta say something else. So it was like, coming up with it right there before we stepped in, and then
you still got to go to your next bar that you have written,
like going
which
into
is incredible.
It. Yeah, like going into it from the first 8 or 12 or whatever, and then coming back out into the rest of it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow, that's dope. Wow. Okay, so you talked a little bit about when you're writing and when you're thinking about certain things. I wanted to ask you, what is your process like? I'm big on understanding the mind of an MC. I always want to know how y'all come up with this. How do y'all write this? So what is your writing process like?
It's kind of all over the place because like I'm just super busy in life. I run a business. I have a wife. I have a child. I don't really have too much time to just like get super high and brainstorm and just sit and write for hours and hours. So I keep notes.
High?
Yeah. Like like smoke a bunch of weed and zone out. Like this would probably be my creative process if I didn't live life the way I live life.
Right.
So if I think of something, I write it down. I just keep a lot of notes. Anytime I think of something, even if it's a word I like, I might just write down the word, or I might just, if it's things that rhyme, I might write those bunch of words that rhyme down that I like the way the pattern. Or if it's like a bunch of ideas like that go together, for a scheme or something, I might just write those down. And I think of stuff in my head and kind of edit in my head and then write it down. And because I don't work well personally with a blank canvas, I work a lot better with like hip hop is collage art, so it's like I like to sample and take from sources, and so even when I'm writing, I just work better when I have stuff there, and it's good to write all the time. So by the time I get back to it, I forgot about it and I'm excited about it again, and then I can put it together. And then basically I just try to figure out the narrative, the storyline. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm not somebody that feels, sometimes I wish I felt comfortable just doing bar, but for some reason, like I'm too much of a perfectionist, or I have a certain like thing in my mind that's not okay for me creatively to do it that way.
Okay, understand.
And so, I always look for a way to connect the bars, or like, I just said this about clips or whatever it is, how do I make it make sense with the next thing that I'm saying, so that there's an actual arc and like a storyline that it makes sense. Like if you're like Ored said that too on the other one, where he's like, yo, if you're writing a paper, you know, you want the one paragraph to lead into the next, so that you have
transitions.
like you have a thesis, you know what I mean? So I usually I just move the pieces around. It's like a puzzle a lot of times, like a puzzle where it's like, oh, I'm using these bars about, you know, street signs over here, and I'm saying this and that, and then I have this other thing that references, you know, crosswalks, but like bar wise they could go together, but then do they make sense content wise, and does the story go, and then, you know what I mean? And then also trying to think about pacing, like okay, am I getting too technical for too long? Do I need a simple punch or a joke here? Is there anything funny in this round? And then also the arc of the 3 rounds being like, what am I bringing to the table in the first round? What's that about? How does the story continue in the second round, or is it something totally different? You know, how do I think he's going to approach me, and can I do something early on? Do I need to warm up, or should I do something early on to like counteract what I think this person's gonna do? So it's a lot of just a lot of crazy thoughts.
But I like to hear stuff like this. I like to get inside, you know, you guys' mind sometimes. So you talked about having like a little story. So that is a great way to transition into the next scheme that I wrote down. I liked the thing you did with the moron and the nitwit, like that whole thing. I thought it was pretty clever.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nitty don't ride dolo. You can finish.
Dolo, he be hopping crew to crew, so who are you to try solo? I'm the wrong one to fool with. What you're doing isn't smart, Rum. Special Olympics, track and field. This is stupid in the long run. Get ignorant. Couple dum-dums will leave your wig split, then I unload even more on whoever nitwit, retarded. Yeah.
So listen, the reason why I absolutely love that is because it got a crazy reaction from, well, I reacted to it in my living room.
It was the first like high moment of that round, kind of. Well, the freestyle hit, but then that was the first like scripted that hit. Okay. And I love those moments when an MC says something and the whole crowd just goes bananas. So I thought that was like super dope. Like I said, this battle was just phenomenal to me. And there is some, you know, I like that, but there is something that I wanted to ask you about, because I don't know if I didn't really hear what you said, or if I didn't, it was weird. The razor dips in and out, like I didn't hear what you said. In and out of blue, like barbicide. Barbicide is like when you go to the barber and they have the comb and the straight edge in the like tube that has the blue liquid.
Okay.
It's like it like disinfects the comb and the thing. So I was saying that razor dips in and out of blue like barbicide.
Right.
Which is like a simple one, which is like, you know, I'm getting technical, and then you need something simple, you know what I mean? And because like even the just to go back to the first part that you said, like on the wrong one. What was it?
Nitty don't ride dolo, he be
he'd be hopping crew to crew. So who are you to try solo?
Solo Solomon.
Yeah, like calling myself solo, but being like you're always in different crews, so who are you to try being alone, but also to try solo? I'm the wrong one. You know what I mean? Like, so hard. Even that stuff is like just, I don't like to waste words, you know what I mean? Like everything, there's like a little reason, even if it's doesn't have a double meaning, there still is kind of a reason. Like if I said and, or said because, or I said then, like I just agonize even over those little pieces, you know what I mean?
Wow. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's what?
It's stressful.
Okay, I want to jump down. I would have to say this was my favorite part of the first round. The meatball.
Okay, someone was just clowning me for that the other day.
Really?
But yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm corny. I don't know.
That's what they said. They were like that I have some corny lines sometimes, and that was one of them. They weren't really. It was the it's Let's Talk Battle Rap does this new deconstructed podcast, and they did this, and they felt like the Pasta's Ready line was a little corny, but they weren't really shitting on it. They weren't. It was just like, this is one that's like for a chuckle type thing. But
yeah.
Tell me how great it is anyway. I think you're much more on point.
Okay, turn your meatball into. Okay, you can say the whole line.
No, I don't remember that. I know what it is, but I don't remember the
You just want to hear my weird voice say it.
Your voice is so weird. Say it. Go ahead.
Turn your meatball
You
into.
hear how she says it? Weird voice. Super weird voice, this one. All right, say it. Keep going.
Turn your.
Yo, I can't. You hear her voice? No, I'm just kidding. Your
You can
voice
keep
sounds
all this
normal.
too. You can keep this.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep it.
Turn your meatball into ragu with the hot spaghetti.
Oh, throw your noodle against the wall till it sticks. The pasta's ready. Nitty's lunch. Food. I ain't waiting for my ribs to touch. If my hunger is giving me stomach pains, I'll shift his gut. This bird is getting stuffed. Like, thanks, give it up. We call that the itis. If you eating good, you getting stuck. So it's all just like, it's basically just kind of telling a little quick story,
Right.
but by saying the same thing over and over again almost. You know what I mean? Like it's all this, the food stuff with the noodle on the wall, the pasta's ready, Nitty's lunch. I'm saying Nitty's lunch, and then I call him food, which is like some disrespectful food. I ain't waiting for my ribs to touch. If my hunger's giving me stomach pains, I'll shiv his gut. So it's like when your ribs are touching, you're starving. And I'm saying I'm not gonna wait till I'm starving. If my hunger is giving me stomach pains, then I'll shiv his gut, meaning like I'm gonna give him stomach pains. Like I'll rob, I'm not gonna wait for me to be fucked up
Right.
before I fuck you up to get mine. You know what I mean? Basically. But at the same time, it's like hunger pains and shiv your gut is the same thing. I'll shiv his gut. Now Nitty's stuffed, right? Like he's stuffed with a knife. But I'm talking about being hungry and starving and having an empty stomach. So now Nitty's stuffed.
Right.
Like thanks, give it up. Saying Thanksgiving, and saying thanks, give it up. I'm robbing you.
Right.
We call that the itis. If you eating good, you getting stuck. So like itis is, you eat too much food and
You wanna
and you're,
relax.
Yeah, you're stuck. Like I don't know if everybody says that, but I'm old. Coming up in New York, you say, yo, I'm stuck right now. Like you get super high, or you eat mad food, and you don't want to leave the couch. You be like, I'm stuck. So I was saying, if you eating good, you getting stuck, which happens on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
basically, I will rob you, Nitty.
Okay, I like your ability to kind of have like two stories in one, if you know what I mean. Like you just did with the Thanksgiving, but also the Nitty getting stuck. And we see that again right after that when you do the whole thing with the DNA.
Oh yeah.
But also
I
with
love
the
that.
material. I
Yeah.
thought this was fire.
Thank you.
You're not built how you want to believe with DNA strands cut from the cloth of a G. Okay, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting. I don't know if you did this on purpose, but the DNA strands, shoot, I keep forgetting what it's called, but it's like A and G and.
I don't know that there's G, but if there is, then I meant to do it. But I don't.
Okay.
But that was not intentional.
Okay, I was wondering.
But probably because sometimes I forget the layers. Like for real, sometimes I have justifications and reasons for why I did it.
Hold on
and
a
I'm
minute.
sure that even DNA, I probably was like, oh, I'm already saying letters, so it's cool to say cloth of a G. There's probably stuff like
let's
that.
stop for a second. Let me make sure. Because I
I
know
got news for you. You gotta look through all of his lyrics. All of these layers. There's I guarantee there's layers that
What do we
even
stop
somebody
it
who
for?
listened to it 10 times, like he'll explain some shit to me, and I'll be like, "Got him! I didn't even." And I'm like paying
What are those
wild
things
attention to
called?
lyrics,
Yeah.
What do
Or
we
like a
stop
Freudian
for?
slip or like.
Yeah, it is AMT and GNC. I knew I had it.
It's hard. I meant that.
Yeah, that was part of the genius.
That was it.
Yeah,
No, because he had it. You want me to say it on?
No,
camera?
I'm still live. I'm
you
not
still-
cutting this
okay.
out.
This is gold.
See?
This is media gold.
C and G and A. I didn't
See,
know.
look, see how it's.
It's a
that's why I put the G. See?
Yeah. You.
Told you.
Show it on the camera. What is it? 'Cause
All right. So you had the DNA line, and then you
Yeah.
said
Cut from the cloth of a G.
you ain't right. So in DNA, I learned this from school, obviously. The C and
Hold it
the
up closer.
the C and the G go together, and the A and the T go together.
Down, right there. Okay, now say it.
Okay, so I don't know if this is what you meant, but it's the first
It's
thing I
not.
thought
I'll
of.
admit that it's not. It's dope.
It's the
but
first
that's
thing
there.
I thought of, like when he was saying the DNA. I thought he was going to do a full DNA thing. And
Those letters.
right.
Got you.
So
It's like Mook said, you reaching for me.
But you know what though?
but
Like,
that's because I'm knowledgeable. So you know.
You know what though? Like
So
sometimes.
we can start over. We don't have to put that in there.
I'm leaving all of that.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
good.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, like,
gonna be like, she reaching. In the comments.
they people paint paintings, and paintings are meant to be interpreted different ways. You know, like I'm somebody that always looks for meaning almost to a fault, where even if I'm like, purchasing a piece of art for my home, sometimes I'm like, man, I love the way it looks, but like, what does it mean? If it doesn't mean nothing, like, just because I like the way it looks isn't enough for me to get into it. But I think that, like, it's cool for stuff to be interpreted and have different meanings. Like the Let's Talk About Battle Rap podcast, they digested a lot of the stuff that I had, and then they had other things that I was like, wow, I didn't really totally intend that, but like, that's ill. And not only is it ill, but maybe it's there in the subconscious that you're like saying it because it's there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
some stuff we know, we don't know we know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, you ever have a friend tell you a story and you'd be like, damn, like, if you hadn't brought that up, I could have gone my whole life and never like remembered that.
Right.
But now I can't believe that I let that memory slip, but it was there. You know what I mean? So some of that stuff might be there. So I meant it. Long story short, I meant it.
Okay. Okay, so this is a little bit later into the third round, and you're doing this. It's like two stories a little bit in one. You have the DNA thing going on,
Right,
but you also have the clothing thing going on.
Yeah.
So you start off with you not built how you want to believe, with DNA strands cut from the cloth of a G.
Yep. He'll say he licks shots, but it ain't all that it seems. If he got a steam, the chrome is home because it's not in his genes.
Right.
So yeah, just saying, you're not
let's
built
dissect that a
like
little
you're
bit.
not built how you want to believe. Like DNA is what we're built from as human beings. How you want to believe with DNA strands cut from the cloth of a G. He'll say helix shot. So the form of
is a
double helix. A helix is like a corkscrew, and a DNA strand is the two. The double helix. He'll say helix shots, but it ain't all that it seems. If he got a steam, which is slang for a gun, got a steam, the chrome is home, like chrome is home, because it's not in his genes. Being like, you're not really what you think. Like, if you have a gun, you don't have a gun. Maybe you have a gun. If you do, it's not even with you though. You know what I mean?
On top of that.
Oh yeah, so then I ran it back and was like helix, like whatever. I know you followed the theme, but on top of that scheme, I said strand, cut, cloth, and then jeans. See, I'm unraveling each thread, so y'all see who could weave best. I got this bitch sewn, that's why he seems stressed. And that's just basically being like, yo, I just dissed you with the gun thing, and you caught the DNA helix chromosome genes reference, but you didn't even peep that I also said these other things.
Right.
And then I'm saying, see, I'm unraveling each thread, so y'all see who could weave best. And that's basically being like, I'm picking Nitty apart, like I'm unraveling the threads. Like, you pull one, that's a saying. It'd be like, yo, if you have an idea or a business or something, you'd be like, yo, as soon as we start pulling at the threads, like the whole thing is going to unravel if we start picking it apart. And I'm saying, I'm unraveling each thread so y'all see who could weave best, basically being like, I'm breaking him down so you can see who's the better artist, who creates better material. You know what I mean? But I'm also saying that I'm unraveling for you guys each thread of what I'm saying,
of what you're
so
saying.
You could understand.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying I'm going back to show you. The reason I repeated my scheme is to show you that what I'm doing.
And you know what? When you did that, and I think I told Mook this too. I was like, Dad, don't run. It takes the fun out of it for me.
The run it backs.
Right.
Yeah,
when you run it, not only run it back, but how you explained it a little bit. And I was like, nah, don't explain it. Because
You want the secret, the stuff to find.
Yes. And so I was just like, but nonetheless, it was still.
But
dope.
sometimes it helps to get that reaction in the building, because there's plenty of times when they do that, I don't get it at first,
lost.
and then when they do it, I'll be like, oh, I didn't see that. And it was like,
and to me, it was like I know that's like a thing now. That's a move. That's a special move, is to run it back or explain your bars. I do it. Like, if I do it, I have a reason to do it. Like, I did it in the Chilla battle too, where I was like, oh, to duplicate that, like saying he was copying my style, like, yo, you duplicated the A1s. That was your plan B. You had to copy text for the respect you command C. And then I was like, to the crowd was like, copy text is command C. Does that
Copy
not
V is paste.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was
People
like,
don't know that though.
Copy text is command C. Does that not compute or use can't read? I'm saying he ain't an original typewriter, and that's key. So, if I run it back, I'm gonna take it further. You know what I mean? So that's so that's what that one for me was like, yo, if I run this back, then I can go even further. And plus I'm explaining why I'm running it back by saying unraveling each thread. So y'all see you can weave best. I got this bitch sewn. That's why he seems stressed.
Right.
I'll poke holes in him, put this needle and knit. Like his name's Nitty, but saying like just same thing with the unraveling a thread, poking holes. I'd be like, all right, let's poke holes in this idea and see if it really holds water. That's what they say, right? Poke holes in and put this needle and knit, and then lace him with a bow that'll leave him in stitches. We will not tie. So like saying we're gonna poke holes in this to see if it's really real, but then it's also like I'm gonna stab him and then I'll hit him with an elbow and it'll leave him with stitches, and we will not tie, but also like we'll not tie, like tie a knot.
But everybody said y'all did tie.
Right, yeah. Damn. Whole round lost credibility right there. You see that?
You know what?
Yeah, he's a ruiner, the grand ruiner. Uncle Ruin Ron.
What was I gonna say? Okay, so when you did this, it got a big reaction, and I love that. I was like, yes, when you said it the first time, it got a nice reaction, and then when you ran it back, it was just like explosive.
Right, yeah.
So this is coming to the end of round one, and I think you ended pretty strong. I like how you ended, with the whole Jewish guy thing and the JC crucified. I feel like a lot of people take that angle when it comes to JC. Like,
yeah, definitely.
But it was nonetheless still a strong ending for round
sometimes it's
one.
simple and strong. Like, I didn't think that one was going to get the reaction it did because of that, because I'm like, this is kind of obvious. But sometimes, even like, because I produced too, like even making beats, the one that you spent all the time on and brought in the string section and you love because you know how much work went into it, people be like, and the one that you just took a sample and chopped it in 10 minutes and it's just,
it came a little
it's like 2 track of the sample and then there's the kick and the snare and the hi-hat and you're like, it's only 4 sounds. People be like, that's the one. So, I think sometimes the things that come easy, you be like, when you're used to working hard to perfect something, when it comes easy, you almost don't believe it. You're like, that was too easy, it can't be good. You know what I mean? So
like too good to be true kind of thing.
Exactly. You're like, is that even good? So, but that one got a good response.
It did.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to jump into round 2. I feel like you started off round 2 very strong. I love the angle that you took when you talked about Nitty's tendency to talk about his to use gun bars. You said, you told us 99% of gun bars, the other percent is slogan.
Yeah.
And then you said we noticed. I thought that was hard. Okay, so I'm
You're
gonna
talk about the iron the whole battle. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. When Nitty pick a topic, that boy is focused. No joking. No schemes. No personals. No angles. Let me guess. You just going to rap about the iron the whole battle? Well, you should stop. Cause wait, what did you say again? Whether I kill you or not, if you can't fit something else in the plot, you putting yourself in the box.
Right. Yeah.
Now, the reason why I thought this was dope is because it was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna take a shot at you, but I'm gonna give you some advice too.
Right. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your thought process when you started round 2 and why you took that angle.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like offense and defense at the same time, because I know he's gonna rap about guns the whole battle. So if I wait till the third to do that, if I'm going second, then it's like a little too late. It's like commentary on what he's already done. Instead of, if I put this in the second, it's probably going to take a little wind out of his third, because if I'm able to paint this picture where I'm saying you're one-dimensional and that's whack, and then he keeps being one-dimensional, it's going to take the edge off of some of his stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's also a statement, and it's because it's almost also like I don't feel totally comfortable, like I said, just doing bar like that. So I'm kind of justifying my thing and being like, this is why I think I'm great, is because I'm bringing a lot to the table. So so it's like convincing. I'm painting him in a light that's going to weaken his third round or his second if he's going second after me, and I'm also educating the fans in a way that's like teaching them how to assess the battle in my favor. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I was gonna say that. I was thinking that in your favor. Yeah.
Right. Like by saying this is your weak point and this is the strong point, I'm almost like convincing people to be like, oh yeah, like Solomon's more well-rounded, you know. And then that line is like, well, you should stop because whether I kill you or not, if you can't fit something else in the plot, you're putting yourself in the box. Basically being like, whether I kill you or not, if you can't put something else in the story, the plot, but also put something else in the plot that you would bury, you know, a plot is where you bury somebody, then you're putting yourself in a box. Basically being like, oh, yo, you're really you put yourself in a box. When you only make this one kind of song, you're really putting yourself in a box as an artist, but then being like, if I don't kill you, you're going to kill yourself just by being so limited. You know what I mean?
So, you know, since you said that, I want to know, do you think a lot of MCs or battle rappers, you know, whether it be in battle rap or mainstream, tend to put themselves in the box? It's like what they're used to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could go two ways because that's what branding is too. Like branding is about simplicity, consistency, repeatability, expectations being consistent. Like, you know, you go to any McDonald's and the food's gonna taste exactly the same.
Right.
You know, when you hire certain battle rappers, you know what you're gonna get, and that's what you're looking for from them. So I think it's a tough line between, you know, evolving creatively in a way that doesn't alienate people, and then, you know, yeah, it can be tough because you know, it's like there might be an artist like Jadakiss that people are just still gonna love getting the same thing from him, and then you have something like Kanye who's like every single album is like totally different, like almost a different genre sometimes.
Yes.
It just kind of, I think it depends. I think it's harder. I think it can be harder to evolve that drastically like Kanye does it and be effective, but I think also if you really don't evolve at all, it's definitely gonna get stagnant.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so as everyone probably knows this, but I am an educator. I work in a public school. So this next scheme was especially like funny to me. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Scantron. Yeah.
And you know what? I was like a little upset when I because I was like, I don't want to think about work right now, and it made me think about work. You started with, I'm trying to learn, you don't second guess it. So. Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm trying to learn you.
Don't second guess it.
Yeah, you say it. I don't remember.
Oh, you will always be number 2 when you...
Oh, respect. Oh, put yourself in the box. Respect this lesson. I'm trying to learn you.
Oh, started from there. Okay, yeah.
Put yourself in the box. Respect this lesson. I'm trying to learn you. Don't second guess it. Or you will always be number 2 when your pencil is tested. If you take battles like Scantrons, where every question you got to fill your whole round up with lead just to get accepted. So that
got a crazy response too.
It's crazy.
So yeah, it's like
he didn't probably even realize how hard he just got there.
Like, so it starts with respect this lesson, and saying respect this lesson isn't just about like scheme wise. I'm saying lesson is part of the next scheme, but I'm also saying I just kind of gave you the lesson by saying if you don't fit something else in the plot, you're putting yourself in a box. Respect this lesson. I'm saying respect that lesson, and then I'm reiterating the lesson, and the word lesson is going into the kind of school scheme there. Respect this lesson. I'm trying to learn you. Don't second guess it. Which is just all kind of like, you know, school reference stuff. I'm trying to learn you. Don't second guess it, because on the Scantron they even teach you a tactic of like what to guess. Put all C's. Don't jump around guessing the probability that you're gonna get it right one if you put all C's or whatever.
Right, absolutely.
Don't second guess it, or you will always be number 2 when your pencil's tested. And with the Scantron, you have to use a number 2 pencil.
Right.
And I'm also saying don't second guess it.
Oh yeah, second guess it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So even me saying second guess it was deliberate because I know I'm gonna say number 2, you know, number 2. Don't second guess it. You always be number 2 when your pencil is tested. If you take battles like Scantrons, and so even there, like for that one, and it sounds crazy, but I even went back and forth on to say you treat battles like Scantrons, and then I was like, nah. I changed it to take battles Like if you take a test.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So even down to those little words
put thought into
that
it.
nobody cares about, for me it's like I just don't want to waste word. I just want to use every piece of real estate I have to do something thoughtful. And so instead of saying, oh yeah, you treat battles like Scantrons, I'm saying you take battles, because they'll be like, oh, what battle are you taking next? And it's like you take a test, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take battles like Scantrons, where every question you got to fill your whole roundup with lead just to get accepted. And you know, the whole thing with a Scantron is you have to fill the whole circle with the lead from the pencil, or they won't accept it. They'll be like, you have to fill these in, or the answer won't get scanned. You know what I mean?
That was dope.
Yeah.
So, did you hear that, Uncle Rob?
Did you hear that?
I just got
That was
back. I had to
hard.
run out.
Did you hear that? Yo,
I'm gonna edit this, so I'm gonna hear everything.
the greatest editing session you ever done did.
So thanks.
You'd be holding money in front of the screen the whole time.
He said you ever done that. Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Set that down.
Okay. So, there's always a few lines in, here and there. The ones that are not schemes that I point out, just like, oh, that was dope, that was dope. The celibate tickets line.
Oh yeah, there's parts of this that got slept on too.
Okay.
How far back did you take? Because this goes on for a long time.
Okay.
Where did you start from?
Celibate tickets.
You sell a bit of tickets, but ain't fucking with slow your pace. Right. So first, I'm saying with the it's on E for gas in this quarter tank. Right? Who told you could join the ranks, whatever, being like, who told you were at this level? And I'm saying it's Beasley's fault. It's on E for gas in this quarter tank, because he's from fourth quarter, Nitty, and I'm saying it's on Eric for gas in his tank, but saying it's on E because you didn't give him enough. It's just a quarter tank.
Right.
Slow your
Beasley.
pace. Beasley, yeah. Slow your pace, which is like a reference to cars, but also now that so it's referencing the previous scheme by saying slow your pace, but then I'm also starting on the like reproduction sex scheme by saying slow your pace.
Yes.
Give it a minute, man. Like Minute Man, or you gonna blow the race, which is like blow the race is also referencing the car scheme, but also the sex. Like give it a minute, man, you gonna blow the race. You sell a bit of tickets, but ain't fucking with what a procreate.
Right.
Which is I think is obvious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, ain't fucking with what a procreate. How long we wait for son to grow, while his style went from young to old. Shit, when he came out, the motherfucker was so 9 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So basically being like, slow down, because we're gonna get sick. Like, don't take so many battles. Slow down. We're gonna get sick of you, and we're gonna be waiting for you to grow. And saying, what a procreate. How long we wait for son to grow. Like if you're having a child, you wait 9 months for the child to grow. How long we wait for son to grow, while his style went from young to old. So growing is going from young to old. So I'm saying, how long we wait for son to grow, while his style went from young to old. When he came out, the motherfucker was so 9 months ago. Being like, your style's already played out when we first heard of it, but also saying when a baby comes out after you wait for it to grow, the person who fucked the mother did it 9 months ago. So when he came out, the motherfucker was so 9 months ago. So
Why couldn't he have made love to the mother? Why did he have to fuck
this
the
is
mother?
battle. Made love. This is battle rap. Made love. Yo,
I'm sorry, man. I'm an old dude.
make me sick. Anyway, keep going.
Thank God I do the edits, right?
No, you're keeping that in.
Okay, so I want to jump down to the Nino Brown little part right there.
Yeah.
Obviously because that came from the movie New Jack City.
Yeah.
But I see that there's like a little movie scheme you got going on there.
Yeah. It's like musical theater now. You just want to act like a gangster. That's why you think you're Nino Brown. Nitty has a song that goes like that. It's like, I think I'm Nino Brown. So that's why I said it like that. And he has that song. And I'm saying you just want to act like a gangster because Nino Brown's not like a historical figure. It's a fictional character. That's how you picture yourself. So every bar is about image, where you either holding a stick or an arm gets shot in it. Basically being
like the selfie.
yeah, like a selfie stick. Like that's how you picture yourself. You really think that you're this imaginary fake gangster. So that's why you're either holding a stick or an arm gets shot in it. Like you're either holding a gun or shooting a gun. But the way you picture yourself when you take and every bar is about image. It's all camera stuff. But you picture yourself, so every bar is about image, where you either holding a stick or an arm gets shot in it. So if you're taking a selfie with the selfie stick, you're holding a stick, and if you're not, then your arm's gonna get in the picture. You know?
Right.
The arm gets shot in it. And then it keeps going, right? What's the next thing?
How a movie character moves and
how a movie character moves on camera to rum is the realest, which is like saying like fake shit to you is the realest, but also a reel, like a movie reel. How a movie character moves on camera and a reel moves on the camera to rum is the realest. That's why this film role you playing is a little underdeveloped. Basically being like, you think you're this gangster and that's how you picture yourself, so you're always shooting guns, but to you, these fake images of a gangster is the realest shit. That's why this character you're playing is underdeveloped. It doesn't have like substance and depth because you're just basing your stuff on fantasy characters. It's not real gangster shit, it's just movie gangster shit. So it's underdeveloped, you know what I mean?
So let me ask a quick question. I know a lot of people say rum is famous for using like movie bars.
Movies. Yeah,
is that what was your thought process with that coming doing that?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Like he always does it, and then he has the song where it's like, I think I'm Nino Brown, and then that's one where I might have had the idea about the Nino Brown thing, and then I might have had this film role you playing separate, and then you get that aha moment that's like, yo, like I just said Nino Brown, and that's a movie, and then I have this other thing about film role, and then you could like bridge the gap with other stuff. So that's how the like puzzle pieces come together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Speaking of using the word puzzle, have you heard of Easter eggs?
Yeah, I saw your confusion over that. That comes from like,
now,
I mean, I get it now, but I didn't
That's
know
an Easter egg, what you just did, right?
A lot of it is.
Term.
I mean, the way Red was saying it was that it's like self-referential to battle rap, but to me, it really just means something you didn't know, something that wasn't blatantly there, that was there for you to discover as an underpinning layer of something that was blatantly there. Because Easter egg hunt is where it comes from originally, but then in terms of like DVDs back in the day, if there was like a secret option on the DVD menu that wasn't listed, but if you like press the controller to the right, it gets you bonus features. That's an Easter egg. Or in video games where it's like, yo, this is the point of the level, but actually if you like go over on this side and like tap A 3 times, you get this bonus level that's like not advertised. It's not in the instructions.
Yeah.
It's just the Easter egg that you find. You know what I mean? So.
And you watched the MOOC joint, right?
Not the whole thing,
but I think
I'm watching it in 1 hour installments over. I've reserved November for that, but I've watched some of it.
Because he was saying like a lot of the stuff he was trying to explain is because people didn't know the references. Like people outside of battle rap didn't know certain things.
Totally.
Like the flubber fin thing. Like people didn't know.
Sure.
So that's why he was explaining that. And I think those were Easter eggs that he was trying to explain. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah,
okay, cool.
Definitely in the way that Red was articulating what a Easter egg is.
Right. After he told me that's when I put the whole MOOC thing.
That's kind of one of the gift and a curse like cruxes of battle rap right now, is that like it's so self-referential, which is really cool because it gives room for super layered referential stuff. But then it also so it makes like the niche like fan base feel rewarded for knowing the references, and the references are crazy because they're special and they're personal, and it's really for the fans. But at the same time, it also kind of raises the barrier to entry because people watch battles and have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yo, that's a dope way to explain it too. Yeah. You did better than old Red did with the explanation.
I do everything better than what old Red did. Explanation,
Set it up.
all of that.
Set it up.
Okay, so this part I really wanted to talk about. This is when you make reference to Nitty's like brotherhood and everything.
Yep.
It was very interesting to me. I don't know why, but it was very interesting. You know, you talked about his affiliations and everything. Can you talk a little bit? I don't really care to like say it line for line, but I just want to know your thought process behind when you wrote that and said, okay, let me put this in the second round. I want to know like a little bit of what you were thinking?
I think I probably thought of the Advice Lord thing first, or like the Hell's Angels something, and then I might have worked backwards, or I don't know. I'm not sure, because then I also had the 4, 5, 6 thing. I mean, all the bars are, every line has some type of gang reference, like draw the line, boy, like who's the Brotherhood really ride for folk and people, like those are all gangs, Brotherhood, folk, people. Is you fourth quarter blood or Crip, and blood number is 5, Crip number is 6. So I'm saying 4, 5, 6. Is you fourth quarter blood or Crip, you throwing up the 6 like you are Crip, but you 5, 4. So just doing a little 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4. You throwing up the 6, but you 5, 4. I'll send them to hell or angels if you don't take my advice, Lord. And if the Latin kings believed him, he would say he's a 5th Boricua, and be banging that black and yellow harder than Wiz Khalifa. Just basically just being like, you'll be down with everything.
So how many was that? You had
Brotherhood, folk, people, fourth quarter gang, blood, Crip, Vice Lord, and Hell's Angels. So 7, and with some referential black and yellow Latin Kings. Right. So that's 8 gangs, but then with the 5 and the 6 is kind of also saying blood and Crip again.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's another kind of layer of the reference by saying that's like, it doesn't really have to do with the overall scheme, but just throwing in the 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4 is just like fun to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
6, but you.
Yeah, I thought that was
4.
interesting.
Yeah.
I was like wondering, what made you shine the light on that?
Yeah, just like, I mean, I like to flex knowledge, you know what I mean? It's like, if I know about this stuff, I like to let people know I know about this shit, you know what I mean? And also, it's just a cool way. It's like, I'm saying you jump from click to click. So if it's like somebody might use toothbrush, soap, like shampoo, and say you're jumping from click to click, but if the scheme I'm using is all gang names while I'm saying that you go from gang to gang, to me it just makes it harder. Like, it's a better justification for the wordplay.
And it makes sense, absolutely. Okay, so jumping down, I love the first name Iron, but I'm good with any element. That was hard.
Tables. Yeah, that one's crazy. It's like, so I'm saying the graffiti stuff, right? I'm saying I grew up a Kane fan, Big Daddy Kane, not selling cocaine, and I caught my first charge writing my name with a spray can. And
you know what was so dope? The graffiti was on the wall. I wouldn't have known what you were. Yeah. I would have thought it was the can, Right. But then when you pointed to the graffiti, I said, "Oh, he used to do right."
Spray can. What is the line? Even without the metal. So even without the nickel. Right. So even without a gun. Like, I'm not the type of criminal shit I was into was all hip hop shit. Like, I was doing hip hop crimes. You know what I mean? So even if I don't have a gun, you still fucking with the wrong person because I'm official. You know what I mean? But even without the nickel, I'm the wrong one to meddle with. First name Iron, but I am good in any element. And like, I'm not sure if nickel and iron are elements, but they're metal. It's kind of references that, and also the 4 elements of hip hop. But then I say tables, or the podium, linoleum, or Rust-Oleum, and those are the 4 elements, right? Turntables, tables, breaking, or the podium, linoleum, breaking, or Rust-Oleum. And so coming off of I'm good in any element. And I list the 4 elements, but also I say tables because it's like the table of elements too. So there's like another layer to the tables part.
Wow.
First name, even without the nickel, I'm the wrong one to meddle with. First name Iron, but I am good in any element. Tables or the podium, linoleum or Rust-Oleum. Yeah.
Yeah, that was hard. That was dope. Okay. And it helps that we like in the hip hop.
Yeah, definitely. Rhode Island Records, Brooklyn, Stanwyck Street.
You said a little bit. You said something about the lines that's flying over our heads, and I thought that was interesting because this is why I love this show. Like I say all the time, because we get to highlight the lines that probably did fly over. Yeah, exactly. Fly over heads. Let's show the minds why you're so divine. It's like a cosine. Okay, this is when you did the wine thing, talking about God and
so divine. It's like they co-designed by God. We got an open line of being like, I speak to God regularly, right? Like, to be able to write like this. My flow is wine, so even if me and his fourth quarter score is tied inside the building, I am winning over time. Just saying, what I have is gonna get better with time,
Right.
like wine.
Like
but also
wine.
he's from fourth quarter, so saying even if we're tied in the building, I'll win over time. Like the longer the battle lasts, the more people are gonna start saying that I won, even if it seems tied right now, and also like even if it's tied inside the building, I'll be winning overtime, like overtime after the fourth quarter in
Right.
in a game. Yeah. And then the last bar keeps going with the sports thing.
All right, so let's get into round 3. Now, this is my favorite round. I had a blast breaking this down.
Dope.
You started off with, I'm disgusted by these
Crutches,
that these,
suckers.
okay, you can finish the,
Unless you don't want to trade off, you don't want to do like a Styles P. Jadakiss thing.
oh, we could.
I feel like we have that
I
kind
would
of
be
dynamic.
Kiss. You could be,
Okay.
you could be the ghost.
I'll be yeah. Okay.
Double
I
impact
kinda-
3. Double impact 3.
That
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of got a ghost like thing going on. Yeah, I'm disgusted by the crutches that these suckers need to write. If surf the reach God, then rum is reaches Christ. Yeah.
You know why I like that? It provided like a little humor to start off the
Right.
third round.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like as hard as, you know, the second round you started off, you know, you came off strong.
Right. Yeah.
And this one was like a little easy. But the whole round is fire nonetheless.
Thank you.
That's like the third time I said that word, third or fourth time I said that, but whatever.
I'm
Fire.
saying it.
But nonetheless.
Oh, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds super weird when you say it too. I know. Keep going, but just it's super weird.
Okay, he'll paint the words with his hand, trying to convince us that you're catching bodies. I love this. You
Right.
can do that. You can.
Pain, because it comes off the Heisman Trophy pose, right? So many
yes,
reaches this
yeah.
guy composes prose. You gotta write his fucking rhymes in the Heisman Trophy pose, trying to convince us you catching bodies. Or what is it?
Do interpretive dance.
Yeah,
But
but it's
Steve
like
just-
holding arms, like you trying to convince us something with arms, something with holding arms by painting the words with your hands. Trying to convince us
he'll
you
paint the words with your hands, trying to convince us
Convince us-
that you're catching bodies through interpretive
dance, right? Exactly. Basically, just paint the words with your hands, like you're trying to illustrate it with your hands by acting it out, trying to convince us that you're a killer by acting it out, really trying to sell it, but also, dance, ballet, interpretive dance, they're like throwing each other around and
Yeah.
catching bodies. So that was kind of like the double meaning there.
Yeah. And you talked about, you said the line about Beasley and, I guess the money that you get versus what he gets. And it's so interesting, out from the outside looking in, it's like, damn, how much everybody,
So many millions of dollars that I get paid.
I know you guys
per
do.
round.
Right.
And then if I don't choke, I get
why-
a bonus. Whereas they want to dock people for choking, they just give me more money if I don't choke. It's crazy.
Right,
It's crazy.
right. I believe you. I thought it was interesting because battle rappers tend to talk about that to each other a lot,
yeah.
like
Which
how
is
much
kind
you
of
get.
problematic, but it's like still a boss move.
All right, so you said that in round 3. Then I wanted to jump down to the he'll paint the words with his hands.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding, I love the line with the little the little paper on the back end. You a temporary plate? Yeah, that was
temporary
hard.
plate. Yeah, it's like temporary plate from a car is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's paper, and it's on the back end of the car. And then it goes into a food and getting paid thing. So it's like it's a temporary plate, like it's
Temporary
this is a
plate,
plate, but it's not gonna last. Like,
Yeah. Okay, then I just jumped down. I just highlighted some lines that are like, they pay you less than volunteer. Like I thought that was
Yeah.
dope. The Eskimo kisses line I thought was fire. Not a lot of people know about the Eskimo kisses.
Yeah, that one I actually kind of fucked up because later I realized that I was thinking of butterfly kisses.
Oh, okay.
So this is
because-
like the softest battle rap lines in history because there's nothing. The only thing softer than an Eskimo kiss where you rub your noses together
Right,
is a
is a
butterfly
butterfly
kiss where you put your eyelashes ever so delicately upon somebody's cheek.
I never even heard of a butterfly
Well, this
kiss.
is
Yeah.
we're getting
That's
super white.
That's a
Right.
fact.
Yeah, we're getting to the softest core of whiteness right now.
Oh, shit.
The white, hot center of softness in the white ethnicity. So a butterfly kiss is actually when you put not me, but like somebody. So actually after the battle, somehow I was like, how did I write that and go over it and rehearse it and not realize that Eskimo kisses is nose to nose, and butterfly kisses. So that should show you that I don't really fuck with those kind of kisses.
Yo, there's times where I hear a battle rapper say something, I'm like, did you not let somebody else hear that? Did you not say that to yourself enough times to say like this shit don't make sense?
To even more prove my not softness is the only person that I really let hear my rhymes is my wife, and even she ain't pick up on it, which means that she don't even get down with them type of kisses. She's G'd up too, and
that's crazy.
Okay. This I would have to say was my favorite. I went to my mom like, Ma, look what he said. You said just to prove a point to them.
Yeah.
What was the rest?
Yeah, it's like a box, and the whole Eskimo butterfly kisses thing was like, I'm gonna beat you up, fist punches and all this stuff, and that's it's like a box of both fists have every punch land, or just to prove a point to thumb, make this 3-0 with one hand.
Point, thumb.
Point to finger.
Yeah. And you know, in New York they say thumb, like them, you say it like thumb.
Yeah.
Be like, dumb, yo, I'm not fucking with dumb. Like, so just to prove a point to thumb, make this 3-0 with one hand to get props. Pinky in the air while I sip scotch. Middle finger through your round. Nothing you say in this ring pops. And like a
ring pop candy.
A ring pop candy, put your finger through, but then also ring finger. So I named all the fingers,
Yes, and then you said
pointer, thumb, just to prove a point to thumb, make this 3-0 with one hand and get props. Pinky in the air while I sip scotch. Middle finger through. Oh, he got the ring pop too. Middle finger through your round. Boom. Nothing you say in this ring pops. Let's state the facts. Not keeping this. Let's state the facts. Y'all might have to play this back, but if you piece it all together, these are the type of lines that create a smack. Yeah, just basically being like, yo, like you might not get it yet, and you might have to go back and peep that I said all the fingers, but when you do, you'll realize that this type of wordplay is what made smack what it is, and this is what I brought. Basically, just because this round is like I'm talking about legacy, right? And I'm trying to like kind of big boy, like little brother him, you know what I mean? Being like, bro, like I'm the big dog here. So all that is just me being like, yo, you see what I just did there? Like, I made this type of wordplay is what I brought to the table. I made this, you know what I mean? So that's what that was, yeah, that one. And that's one that came together where I had different parts. Like I had the prove a point to thumb, make this 3-0 with one hand as a note, and then I had the middle finger through your round as a somewhere else. And when I was like, yo, all these hand lines, spit that finger bar shit, all this shit goes together, and then I put it into the created smack, you know what I mean? So it's just like piecing the puzzle,
you know what's together. So funny? When after you said that, I think he did the hand thing that he always do.
Yeah, the hand thing he always do.
He said the hand, that's the gang, he's throwing up the gang side. She said that.
She's so ignorant. She doesn't know anything about these streets. Right.
I'm a clown. They'll learn. The viewers will learn.
She knows nothing about these streets, bro.
She don't know shit about the streets. She don't need to, because she teaching them babies in school how to not be on them streets.
Right.
Yeah, as soon as she turns around a chalkboard, they're all probably stacking in her face, though, or behind her back. Like.
All right. All right. So, you know what? In your third round, you just had a lot of lines that.
That was amazing. It was incredible.
Right. Absolutely. Your Hublot line, how you say it?
Hublot,
yeah. Hublot line was fire. The Nunu Nels line got a huge reaction.
Yeah, actually, I want to talk about that because, like, afterwards, I saw so many people posting that line on Twitter, and like, it's funny. I don't like regret saying it because I think it's on point. Like everybody makes jokes about we don't even know what Nunu does, and I'm saying me saying the opposite. It's that self-referential battle rap thing. I'm letting you know, yo, I'm tuned in. Like with the culture, I know that this is the running joke.
Okay.
And I'm saying something that everybody says, but I'm saying it the opposite. So it's ill, but at the same time, I think it's kind of fucked up and I feel. The part that I feel guilty about is contributing to the narrative of what does Nunu do, because it's not like there aren't other men, Ike and Will Millions and people that we see on stage that nobody questions, but when it's a female who's dressed sexy, we're like, what the fuck does she even do? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that it's funny, but and I don't really regret saying it because it's fire, but at the same time I also think like you know what Nunu does. Like she's brought a lot to the table, contributed a lot to the culture in general. Super generous with her time, with people that beyond Smack that doesn't necessarily even benefit her career, but other platforms. And I think that, you know, not to be like we shouldn't say this, but just to point out that I was participating in kind of.
Not to mention that she ain't been on that stage in so long. Right. It's weird not seeing her on that stage.
Right, it is.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Okay, so the last thing that I want to get into, you know, you had I was self-taught scheme there, and I like that. For the sake of time, we don't have to like say it all, but I just want you to talk a little bit about, you know, your thought process with that too.
Yeah, just basically being, you know, I'm in that, like I said, it's kind of a legacy round. It's me being like, yo, my legacy, my pay grade is you know, I'm more of an OG. And then I'm saying, and I was self-taught. Like, my education was intuition, School of Hard Knocks, paid my own dues and tuition. I used my aggressive disposition to get to this position. That L I took didn't end the mission, it was intermission. Basically just being like, yo, I'm more of an OG than you. I brought this wordplay to the table. I got paid more than you, and I did it myself from the ground up. And even when I took that huge L, it was just intermission for me. Like, it's just like, now I'm getting faster with the bragging. Before it's like the narrative is evolving and I'm focusing on one topic at a time, and then now I'm just kind of like rolling it off. Like, you got to wrapping up the round with just a little more fast pace. You know what I mean?
Okay. Wow. All right. So one more thing, and then we're done. The watch him out when you told Nitty to watch, that was funny. I don't care. The Quagmire.
He paused me because I said when Mook gave me that box. And I was saying, like, when Mook killed me after I said took the L, I'm saying when he gave me that box, like the coffin box, and he was saying, like, you know, he gave me that box, like, like he said pause, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
everybody
so
was wondering.
Yeah. See, this is why inside the bars is important. Yeah, because we didn't know that.
Yeah,
I know
that was another one, like Eskimo Kisses, where I was like, word, I didn't even think of that, like.
Okay, that Quagmire jump off was dumb funny. And then you ended strong when you said it didn't work out how you planned. I'm back.
Because I'm backfired.
Right.
Yeah. Basically,
that was hard.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I like, if I can get there with the creative process, I like to have a real closer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I respect the use of the slogans. I get it, but I also feel like it's cheating a little bit. And to me, part of being great and being great as a writer, and for my personal standards, is like, you want to, like, it's the paper. You have a thesis and you have a closing argument. You know what I'm saying? And so I like to be able to have something that tells you, like, okay, this topic is over, and I summed it up. Like, it ain't work out how you plan. And that's all just like, I'm telling you about my legacy and reminding, it's another educational session for the fans. Yo, I've been here, I did this, I'm the roots of this. What you do is based on what I've done, and people have been sleeping on me, but it didn't work out how you planned because I'm backfired. And if you think back even to the first round, it starts with the Av, they sleeping, you know, the street's been hating. I heard all them rhymes before, so when they rank us, I expect to hear the Av say iron low. So the beginning of the first round, I'm saying I expect people to be hating, and by the end of the third round, I'm saying it ain't work out how you planned because I'm backfired.
Right.
And so even across the rounds, there's still kind of like an arc and a narrative. You know?
Right. Absolutely. Wow.
Real quick, no slogan. You never have a slogan.
Nah. But I might be the first person to repeat, like when I said against Jin, and I was like, I ain't gonna rap out your background or origin. And then against Ness, I did it again. I think I might be the first one to do that. I'm not sure. And I said, I ain't gonna rap about your background or origin. I don't need to rap out the band now to score a win. I don't need to put Diddy in my lines to chalk him out. Who the fuck am I kidding? That's all I'm gonna talk about.
that was like one of my favorite things. I remember you spit that to us like a little bit before the actual battle, like earlier that day or some shit. And I was like, it's a wrap. Like, it doesn't matter what Ness comes with. It's a
that shit was hard.
Wow.
And that might be the first time someone did that too. They're like, yo, I'm gonna talk about this. I'm not gonna talk about this. I'm not gonna talk about that. Like, who am I kidding? I'm gonna talk about all that shit. Like, which is a move now. You know what I mean? Just to, you know.
Well, thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a blast.
Me too.
You did?
Yeah.
You had
The
fun?
weird voice thing was like getting to me, but like just it was still nice. Uncle Rob made it easier,
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And using his head as the light reflector was super on point.
Oh my
No, I'm saying
God.
it's like in terms of production quality, I think it helps. I think you should run with that, and then you don't have to have a third. You don't have to have.
No,
a
that's what I
reflector.
do.
Yeah,
Right? That's why I'm standing
That's why
here.
you do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, that
Everything's
was on point.
coordinated correctly.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
It was
High
nice
five,
meeting you.
and then a hug. Yay!
Thank you so much for tuning into 15 Minutes of Fame. This is Inside the Bars. I'm your host, Nikki Knowledge. You can follow me on Instagram at Nikki_Knowledge. Iron Solomon, it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here at Rotten Island Records in Brooklyn, Stanwyck Street. And special shout out to Zona Libre podcast for giving us the time to work here as well.
Absolutely.
And,
Listen.
and extra shout out to Uncle Ra's super soft ringer because he's built like that. Eskimo kisses, butterfly kisses.
Butterfly kisses, baby.
We out. 15 minutes of fame.
15 minutes of fame.
You are now listening to 15 Minutes of Fame Radio.
Let's go.